Another day, a new report. Hello to all of you from the Pioneer channel, where you can follow the Russia-Ukraine war in detail. In a moment, we will evaluate the developments on the last day of the Russia-Ukraine war. According to the latest reports, the battlefield was quite calm today compared to the past days. This calmness does not prevent clashes from taking place. At many points, fierce clashes between Russian troops and the Ukrainian troops continuing and taking place. According to the latest reports, these clashes are taking place especially on the Zaporizhia front line. We do not observe any territorial exchange today either. However, we can say that the attacks of the Ukrainian army are more violent today. In addition, the attacks of the Ukrainian army are spreading over a wider area every day. So, what is the latest situation on the front line? Let's take a look at the developments together. The Pioneer continues to share daily map reports with you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so as not to miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. You can also help us reaching more people by commenting on our videos. Let's start if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. Let's start with the latest developments on the Zaporizhia front line. First, we look at the Robotny sectors. Let's recall briefly, the Ukrainian armed forces came very close to the village of Robotny during the counterattack launched in June. So much so that some sources claim that the Ukrainian army is on the outskirts of Robotny. You can also see it here. Ukrainian troops have formed a ledge within the Russian positions in the Robotny area. The areas in this ledge needs to increase further. As you can see, this region is approximately 23 kilometers from the city of Tokmak. The city of Tokmak is very important because, the Ukrainian army wants to seize the Crimean Peninsula. For this, the city of Tokmak has a strategic importance. As you can see, a motorway passes through here, namely Tokmak city center. This motorway reaches both of the Azov Sea coast and the Crimean Peninsula. If the Ukrainian armed forces troops can enter this region, they will establish an important dominance area on the motorway. The establishment of this area of control will cause a major change in the entire front line, which is worthy only in the Tokmak region. Russian troops in all the regions reached by this motorway may face great difficulties because this motorway is one of the main supply lines of the Russian army. In addition, the city of Tokmak has such an importance. Tokmak city is a logistics center for the Russian army. Many ammunition depot and dispatch points of the Russian armed forces are located in Tokmak. The control of this region by the Ukrainian army will lead to two disadvantages for the Russian army. One of these disadvantages is that the ammunition depot and materials in the region will fall into the hands of the Ukrainian army, and with the capture of these ammunition depots by the Ukrainian armed forces, the Ukrainian attack will intensify. In addition, the Ukrainian army was already periodically hitting the ammunition depot of the Russian army. Even if the ammunition depot was not captured by the Ukrainian army, it was destroyed. The situation further increased the shortage of ammunition for the Russian troops. The second disadvantage is that other Russian troops on the front line are deprived of supplies. As we mentioned, with the capture of this region by the Ukrainian army, the needs of Russian troops on the front line will not be met. What we mean here is not limited to the Zaporizhia front line. In this scenario, the Russian army will face great difficulties on the entire front line from the north to south. When we look at the latest reports, we see that the Ukrainian army's operations to the south of Robotny continue. According from the latest information we have compiled from local sources, Ukrainian troops tried to advance near Novoprokopivka and Verbov after artillery preparations. However, they were not very violent attacks. Stagnation continues in the change of the dominance areas in this region. The struggle between artillery units in the region continues. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery units hit Ukrainian troops in Robotny and Malyanka-Tokmakcha area. On the other hand, Ukrainian artillery shelled Russian positions in Kopany and Ichenko. Let's continue our report with the latest situation on the Wuhldar sector of the Zaporizhia front line. As you know, stagnation has been going on here for a long time. As of today, there is no change. The region is as stable as possible. In the Wuhldar region, the Ukrainian army is defending its positions in the direction of Stromayorsk and Yorkheim. There is also intensive preparations in Priyodny, Novomyrsk, and Novodonetsk areas. Ukrainian troops seem to be preparing for a new offensive. We do think that there will be a significant change here in the short term. Seasonal conditions will largely determine the situation here. We will continue to monitor the region. Let's continue our report by analyzing the latest developments on the Donetsk front line. As you know, there are traditional Marinka attacks of the Russian army in this region. The Russian army continued these attacks today. However, no results were achieved. Russian troops had to retreat without success against the resistance of the Ukrainian defense. Also today, the Russian army made a difference. With the support of the artillery, the Russian armed forces also attacked near Novomikhailovka. There is also an attempt by Russian troops to advance in the direction of Zaporizhia. However, there is no results. Ukrainian defense forces continue to hold their positions. The Donetsk front line has been static since the beginning of the war. This stagnation continues. There are no changes in border areas on the front line. We will continue to follow the region. Let us continue our report by analyzing the latest developments on the Bakhmut front line. As you know, the advantage gained by the Ukrainian army in the south of Bakhmut front line was disturbing the Russian troops. Therefore, the attacks of the Russian troops in this region continue. We have already mentioned that the Ukrainian troops are building defensive fortifications in this region. The construction of these fortifications has been largely completed. Therefore, every time the Russian troops attack, they hit the wall. In addition, there has been intense artillery activity in this area in recent days. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery shelled Ukrainian positions in Andreevka, Ivansky, Vodanivka, Vazykhovka, and Sporyony. On the other hand, Ukrainian artillery shelled Russian positions in Ozarynivka, Kurdomivka, Bakhmut city center, and Orykhovo-Vasylivka. Let's continue with the latest developments on the Luhansk front line. We do not often refer to this region. As you know, there is a mobility in this region that has started in recent days. According to the recent reports, Russian forces attacked Ukrainian troops in the Sherebyanki forest area near Dibrova, but retreated without any result. There is also artillery activity in this region. According to the latest reports, Ukrainian positions in the area of Belogorogovka and Nevskoye were hit by Russian artillery. In turn, Ukrainian artillery units responded to the Russian artillery units. And what do you think? Do you think the Ukrainian army will be able to capture the city of Tokmak? Will the advantage in this region continue? What do you think about the latest situation of the Russian troops? Do you think changes will occur in the Donetsk front line? What do you think about the Bakhmut front line? Tell me in the comments. I read and I care about all your comments.